What is up, all the good people of the ICWP universe? We have our own universe now. I think so. I think we could do this. I think we could do this. This is your TNA Impact Wrestling review, TNA Impact review, TNA review, whatever you call it. I don't know what you call TNA today, but TNA, it's coming to you right now for August the 12th, 2015. This is kind of a Global Force versus TNA type of a show because Jeff Jarrett was running things because the Law Bully Ray was, taken out, by a mysterious figure that might just be Hornswoggle or El Torito. So maybe I'm not too sure, but we had a nice kind of battle of the brands type of thing tonight. I feel like it wasn't like by the way the show started. I felt like it wasn't like besides how it started throughout the rest of the night, it wasn't as personal as it probably maybe have should have been. Like EY attacked Jeff Jarrett to start the show off, but then through the rest of the night, it was just like, hey, we're in this match. How you doing, buddy? It wasn't like there was no like animosity building, like just slowly or anything like that. But we started out with GFW coming to the arena. I personally felt like Sanjay looked like a bald DJZ. DJZ wasn't there. Shenanigans. I know he was DJZ. He wasn't Sanjay Dutt. Then we get Jeff Jarrett cutting a promo, and basically kind of set up the show, ran down what was going down tonight, talking about how he's going to have the best of the best. And EY interrupts and he says, "You're claiming to be the king of the mountain, where you're looking at the king of the world. He calls himself God and all of this." I think that might be the easiest way to get heat on yourself. In wrestling is call yourself God. People are like, wait a minute, what? What? So calls himself God, which I think a lot of people have been doing recently in wrestling. So I don't know. And Jeff Jarrett says, "Well, EY, you're the first competitor in the King of the Mountain match, so you should be happy about that." EY is not happy about that. He wants to be in the match, but he still doesn't care because he's crazy. He attacks Jeff Jarrett. He's looking for that power driver, but the Global Force roster of 5 comes out to help. And then obviously TNA comes in as like the cavalry a little bit, and a brawl ensues, which I thought was pretty cool. I kind of like when shows start off with brawls. I think it's kind of a cool way to start a show off. But as far as the Go Force coming to the arena thing, I just was hoping for more, which I think is what you're supposed to hope for in this whole thing. You're supposed to be hoping for more throughout. So I guess that's why they only brought 5 this time, because I'm like, I want to see Moose and I want to see some of these Ring of Honor guys that we probably won't be able to see. I want to see the Young Bucks or something. Like I want to see somebody. Because a lot of these people, if you weren't like a big wrestling fan, you may not know who they were. If you think about it, some of them. But any thoughts on GFW being in the house and Jeff Jarrett cutting his?
I mean, it was a pretty good beginning for total nonstop action Impact Wrestling. That's what I'm going to call it. It's going to be total nonstop action Impact Wrestling, because that's what it is. It did seem a little too Raw-esque, just the opening, setting up the main event. It wasn't quite as long as the opening segments on Raw, but I felt like it went a little bit too long. But it was cool. I also, I don't know how many other people noticed this, but when the TNA Cavalry came down, all the guys that were in matches together kind of went like together in that fight. Like, I was like, come on, guys, really? Like, do we have to do that? We already know what the match is. I don't know. I just kind of picked up on that. But it was a good I was just excited for this episode to see these Global Force guys, because we don't – I feel like in this day and age, especially mainstream wrestling, you don't see these kind of inter-promotional shows as much anymore. You certainly don't see it on WWE, so it's kind of cool to see another company coming in with TNA.
I will. Ooh, I will warn you guys now. Um, Stay away from Wikipedia, social media. Well, not social media to a certain degree, but more so Wikipedia and like wrestling rumor sites, because TNA has taped the entire set of tapings for this entire GFW versus TNA thing. So if you don't want to know about it, try your best to stay away from it because they've taped through October. They taped like I think Tyrus. I saw an interview with Tyrus and he said they taped like 100, like over 100 matches or something like that, like over the course of like 9 days, which is freaking ridiculous. Uh, but I was like, so I should probably, let you guys know to stay away from stuff like that because it's kind of, it's easy to run into by accident. And stay away from Justin because he'll tell you anything. So just
I
look
feel,
out.
I feel like though, even without looking at the Wikipedia or the rumor sites, I feel like just the way they've done this, and I said this in Justin's video yesterday, I feel like I know exactly what's going on. It feels really predictable. Like I said, unless they do a big swerve that I'm not expecting, but it seems so predictable right now. Just with Bully Ray being taken out, and then it's just I don't know. I hope it's a swerve. I really hope it's somebody else that I'm not expecting. Because right now I'm just expecting it's Global Force attacking TNA guys. That's what I'm expecting.
See, I'm expecting like the complete opposite. I'm expecting like it ended up being a swerve. Like all of those, so like one of the guys who supposedly left is gonna end up being them, or end up being like a group of those guys or something. I don't know.
No, I'm expecting it to. I'm kind of expecting it to be like Austin Aries or somebody like that. Somebody who just left, or like James Storm.
Yeah, James Storm would probably be one I would think of because Austin Aries has pretty much I think already. I think he hasn't showed up officially on Ring of Honor television, but I'm pretty sure like it's on their website and stuff like that. And they were like, I don't think they're a big enough part of this to like play along with it, you know.
Yeah.
But next we get Lady Tapa versus Awesome Kong. She had Royal Red with her, which I thought was kind of cool. We got some shoulder blocks in this match that ended up leading to a stalemate. Kong takes Lady Tapa down with a cross body. The boot then comes in and takes Kong down. Kong clotheslines Tapa, and Tapa falls like as slow as possible. Like I have never in my life seen someone fall that slow. Like I'm like, if that's a pretty big, I mean, I know bigger you are, harder you fall, but you're falling really slow for to be that big. I'm like, I don't know, I don't understand. I don't know if she was trying to like protect herself or what. But Tapa does hit the Samoan drop for two. And they end up going outside of the ring and battling a little bit, and the double count out ends the match. And Kong ends it with a body slam on the ramp, which I had actually forgot about last night when we were talking about this. Because you were talking about how TNA heavy, the matches were. And yeah, even here, like Kong got the body slam on the ramp, so she kind of technically went over a little bit. I felt like they could have did something where like maybe Lady Tapa did something like and left her laying a little bit or something. Like they got to give Global Force a little bit of an edge. I feel like. But any thoughts?
This was the only match I didn't really like. Not because it was a bad match, only because I feel like it hasn't been that long ago that Lady Tapa was in TNA, so it's not really like a big, I don't know. It's just I would have rather seen somebody who has either been out of TNA longer or somebody completely different. But I don't know. I have to look at Global Force's website. I don't know how many female wrestlers they have in Global Force, but it was a good match though. It just wasn't, I was expecting for a show like this, I want to see like completely new guys, or like I said, guys that we haven't seen in a long time, like Sanjay Dutt, or women. I'm sorry, these are women. You know what I mean, though.
Yeah, I understand. So next, excuse me, we get a Drew Galloway interview, and he basically talks about how he's willing to do whatever it takes to get the job done tonight. Obviously, they had kind of clued in a couple of people, like gradually kind of telling us who was in the match tonight. I don't know how they found these people to put them in the match. I don't know if they like just threw some pieces of paper on the floor and just closed their eyes and scrambled to get them, and then whoever they got, that's who was in the match. I'm not sure, but we had some people in this match that were kind of interesting. Then we got a Bobby Roode promo. Should I go into this yet? I guess I'll go into this. Actually, what do you think of the Drew Galloway interview? I'll wait on the Bobby Roode.
I didn't. Before I lost my notes, I didn't really write anything about this anyway. But I was kind of excited for him to be in the match because he's. I've loved him since he's been in TNA because they're actually using him well. But and then found out that he's not gonna be in the match because freaking Hornswoggle has to come in and attack everybody. No, but I was kind of in a way a little bit happy that he wasn't in the match just because it gave a chance, even though it was only EY replacing him. You got other guys that aren't necessarily in the main event pictures to be in a main event match. And it wasn't all the huge guys like a WWE main event would be. It was guys that are average size to small, that which I love.
All right. I'm gonna make sure Echo's getting all funny. It's getting all funny, and I don't want to bother anyone and have people leaving because they're like, "Why is this man talking twice, even though he's only talking once?" Even though I don't understand. I don't need people getting confused. I'm just gonna keep it simple. Keep it simple. Like Bobby Roode's promo, he kept it all simple. He talks about a lot of unanswered questions and a lot of unknowns, and he says a lot of those concern him. He wasn't even considered. Wasn't even considered for the King of the Mountain match. Shame, 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 shame. Jeff Jarrett, shame to you. He wasn't considered for the King of the Mountain match tonight. He does bring out Spud though, because he talks about how Spud kind of eliminated his partner, and now he has nowhere to go because Austin Aries was the only thing. What? What is this? What? All right, there we go. I don't know why my microphone doesn't like things, but it doesn't. But like I was saying, I don't know where I cut off, but that's okay. He brings Spud out, and Spud calls him a condescending, basically prick. He says, everything that he's wanted to do, he's done it. He's done it and done it with a purpose. Roode comes back and he says he should take his aggression out on you. He shouldn't take his aggression out on him, but he is. There's no one that's going to stop him. Spud said, on any other day, you'd be right. And then Spud punches him in the face. I felt like this should have been a bigger moment than it was, and it really wasn't. Like I was watching it, and I was like, this should be really big. Like Spud standing up for himself. They're probably going to get sued by the University of Miami for that, but the ultimate underdog, and he should just, I feel like this should have been a bigger moment. I don't know if it was because of the fans or what, or it wasn't a good enough punch. It wasn't like enough to break Geno Smith's jaw or anything. Nothing like that. I'm just confused. Why wasn't this a good like a big moment for Spud in that instant? But Roode comes back and obviously beats down Spud. We get a Roode bomb on Spud, and it just kind of picks him up by the back of his pants. And just tosses him out of the ring and starts attacking the arm, locks in the crossface, and we go to commercial, I think. So you got any thoughts on Bobby Roode cutting his promo, and why this wasn't a big moment for Spud? I feel like with the fans, because the fans are dead or something. I don't know. They just keep taking the fans out of the building for a second and then bringing them back in, and I'm like,
I don't know. But I kind of this was an okay segment. I felt like for some reason this week Spud kind of looked like a badass. I don't know. I don't know if it was like the facial hair that he had going on.
It was that plain suit he had on. It was that plain, like just straight plain. Like it wasn't nothing goofy or anything. Just a plain suit. That's what it was.
I, I don't know, but I kind of liked it. I was like, yeah, like yeah. I mean, I love the other suits, but I don't know. And then when Root attacked him, part of me really wanted to see like Ares come out and help Spud kind of turn on Bobby Roode. I felt like that would have been an awesome kind of storyline, especially if he like had left and joined Global Force, but apparently he's joining Ring of Honor. I don't know. But it was a good segment. I guess they're building up a Rude Spud feud here, which I think it could be pretty cool.
Um, I feel like they have no idea what they want to do with Spud though. Like they're just kind of throwing him around to the people who are supposedly leaving slash supposedly going to GFW because I'm pretty sure Rude is supposed to be going to GFW and that may be like one of the swerves that they're trying to do because there's a couple of guys that like just happened to sign with GFW as they just happened to leave, and there was some people that didn't officially leave and sign with GFW. So I'm like confused. I'm a little lost here. But next we get a Jarrett Rude altercation, and he says, "You basically left me off this show. How dare you, sir?" He says, "This is a wake up call, though, and I don't have to answer to you. You're not my boss anymore." And that was one of the things that confused me because I'm like, in my head, I'm like, so Rude's going to be the swerve guy. I know it. He's going to be the swerve guy, and now he's getting all in Jarrett's face, talking about how you're not my boss anymore. I can do what I want, which still leads to a swerve to a certain degree. If you think about it, I don't know. I was a little confused. I was confused in my own self because I was like thinking too far ahead, you know. But any thoughts on Jeff Jarrett and Bobby Rose altercation?
Not really. Um, Now that I'm thinking about the show, so many other things are like going through my head. Now I'm like, oh, it was Bobby Roode who attacked him, and oh no, what's going? I don't know. I still think it has to do with Global Force though. But I kind of like that he brought up I don't have to answer to you. You're not my boss anymore. He probably wouldn't listen to Dixie Carter either, but it would be a swerve if he actually was his boss now because he signed with GFW. Ooh, swerve. I don't know.
Already. So I'm actually gonna look up the Global Force Wrestling roster and see like how many like former TNA guys that just happen to be on it, and see if they posted any of that stuff, and see if I can figure it out. Where's my little freaking eye thing? Whatever. Anyway, next we got Bobby Lashley going up against Jesse Goddard. This match was just random to me. I was like, like like a certain part of me was like, cool, Jesse Goddard is kind of being held up with Bobby Lashley now. But then like the other part of me was like, when did Jesse Goddard get up to the caliber of Bobby Lashley? I'm just trying to figure this out, or Lashley as they like to call him, because first names are forbidden in wrestling today, I guess. Um, you know, this was not too bad. I felt like Lashley dominated a little bit more than I would have liked. Jesse was not at first was not letting Lashley do his thing as far as like his whole taunt he does when he gets on the ropes, and he gets clothesline for that. Jesse goes outside, but Lashley's right on him. Jesse hangs him up and hits a nice drop kick. Probably his best move is the drop kick. I would say. I think Jesse's best move is the drop kick. Nice German into a belly to belly by Lashley. I like that transition into those two moves there. Um, the spear that Lashley tried to attempt here early was caught with a scoop slam, which was really nice. Adonis crab attempt by Jesse gets reversed. Lashley comes back with a spear for the win. Jesse kind of messed up the spear though. Like he kind of tried to move out of the way of it a little bit. Like I don't want this match to end. No, I'm going to the King of the Mountain. He like it looked like he moved out of the way when I watched it. It looked like he kind of tried to averted a little bit, and that kind of made it look a little weak. But Bobby Lashley does win, and he's going to be in the King of the Mountain match coming up here real soon. So, any thoughts on Lashley versus Goddard's?
It's Tommaso Ciampa. That's who it is. It's Tommaso Ciampa. Sorry, no. I felt like this was a weird match too, but I didn't think it was necessarily because Jesse is not in the caliber of Bobby Lashley. I just thought the two of them together just didn't seem right to me. I don't know. It was a good match though. I kind of wanted to see Jesse win though, just to kind of give him a little bit of a push. Give him a chance to be in a main event match and kind of show what he can do, because from what I've seen of him, he does seem pretty talented in the ring. He doesn't just seem like what he sort of is, a reality star who became a wrestler. He actually does seem like he has some legitimate talent in the ring from what I've seen. So I would have loved to have seen him kind of in that, big pressure situation where he has to, perform, even though it's taped. So whatever. But I don't know. It was an okay match, just not the way I wanted it to turn out.
Dude, can the Coca please be Coca?
What?
I'm gonna mute you because it's the echo is annoying me. But can the guy who's attacking everybody please be Colt Cabana? Please? He's with GFW. I thought that was kind of cool. I like Colt Cabana. I kind of want it to be him, but I don't know. Or Shelton Benjamin. That would be cool. Be cool to see Shelton Benjamin. It's gonna end up being Virgil. But next we got Drew Galloway laid out in the back, similar and in a similar place to where Bully Ray was. I'm glad that the commentators picked up on that it was a similar place or the same place around about, because I wouldn't have picked up on it. I would have been like, oh well, he got attacked. Who's the replacement? I probably wouldn't have picked up on the actual location. But then we go into the office of, I guess, Dixie Carter's office, I guess you could say. And Jared is kind of scrambling a little bit, trying to figure out, who the replacement. Not necessarily scrambling. He was like, we got it. We know who the replacement's gonna be. We got it. He was pretty confident about it, I guess. Which the replacement surprised me. But any thoughts on Drew Galloway being taken out? I think we've kind of talked about this, and Jeff Jarrett looking for a replacement. I muted you, by the way. I didn't even rudely do it. I just did it, and I told you.
Yeah, you did.
I was like, I'm muting you.
Nothing really about the replacement, because we already did kind of talk about that. The attack. But now that I looked over the roster, it's clear to me. It's so clear right now. It's Jim Cornette. It's Cornette. That's who it is.
That'd be great though. Yeah. Like that would tie all the loose ends together. You know what I mean? Like Jim Cornette was like the big head man in charge of TNA. It's like this whole like jealous storyline where he kind of went out on bad terms, and I think that could be a pretty decent storyline. I don't know how long it would last, but
yeah.
But I don't know if it can be Jim Cornette though, because he's talked bad about TNA like for a while now.
And ironically, the company that he works for now is working with TNA. No, but I was just thinking the whole time Jarrett was talking, I was like, it's a swerve. Come on, don't you lie to us. We can see through your lies. But I was surprised who the replacement was a little bit. I would have picked somebody else personally, but whatever.
Alrighty, so next we get an EC3 promo. You want to know why we got an EC3 promo? Cause he's the champ, darn it! I don't have a wrestler belt to hold up and say this anymore. So I'm just gonna have to. You're gonna have to imagine, use your imagination. Cause he's the champ, darn it! You're gonna hear it at least once. At least once. I feel like when I say it too much, I start to sound like Justin when he calls people fat. Like I feel like I get too much emphasis on everything. Cause he's fat. Cause he's fat. Like I get that too much of that emphasis going. But EC3 says, "Do you see what stands before you? The world champion." He talks to Matt Hardy. He says, "You're just like everyone else. You lost." He gets "you suck" chance. Um, he says that makes me the world champion here. I don't know if he said here. I don't know if he said it exactly like this, but he said here, now, forever. And I was like, is that a stab at WWE? Then, now, forever. I think it may be. I think they may have just snuck that one in there on people who weren't suspecting it. But I like that line. I thought it was pretty cool. Matt Hardy does come out. He says, you have a good claim, but I will not go away. So I'm coming for that title. I will not stop. I will not quit because Matt Hardy will not die. Matt Hardy will not die. So I was inspired for a second there. I almost put my John Cena shirt on. I was so inspired. He says, I'm not going. I'm not. I'm not going to decide if I deserve another shot. I think the people should decide. And he said, and EC3 kind of panders to the fans here. He says, Matt Hardy, you want another shot? Do these people want to see another shot? And obviously the fans get kind of riled up. And he says, well, the answer is no. I don't know what it is about when EC3 does these type of things, but I love it. Like, I feel like sometimes we get annoyed with it with like Seth Rollins and people like that. Because I know you were talking about this with Raw, where Seth Rollins is like a similar champion to what EC3 is. And I feel like with EC3, I don't get annoyed by it. I guess he's just built on it so much that I just, for some reason, and plus I love the man. I love him. Come on, everybody does. Uh, and then Matt Hardy kind of gets up in his face, and Tyrus attacks Matt Hardy. EC3 hits Hardy with the title. And I decided to take a little glance at Tyrus's kind of onesie or whatever we're calling this thing. What do you call it? Singlet. Singlet. Onesie. The onesie. I got a chance to look at it. Only on Tyrus is it a onesie. And it says the glorious unicorn of Swole. First, what made me like notice this and be like, really? What I saw glorious unicorn and I'm like, what? So I was like, there's got to be more to this. He's trying to dish this Funkasaurus thing, so there's got to be more to this, right? And it was Glorious Unicorn of Swole, and I'm like, okay then, all right, Tyrus, I see you. But do you have any thoughts on EC3? Kind of being EC3 in this promo.
Not necessarily on the promo, but as for EC3 versus Seth Rollins, I do like EC3 more as the kind of cowardly heel because I think his gimmick in general works better for it. He's his rich Aunt D, he's privileged. He was born with a silver spoon in his mouth.
I got one more point.
Yeah.
He's the champ, darn it, so he can do it. He's the champ. He's the champ. Sorry.
But Seth Rollins, and we know about Seth Rollins that he's not like that. We know he's come up in the Indies. We know he's come up in ROH. We know he's the exact opposite of that. So it doesn't work with him being that cowardly kind of, privileged heel. And also it's just WWE and they do that way too much anyway. So it gets annoying just with them in general. But I like it with EC3. Hopefully they will give Matt the title at least once. because every other company has, just shit on Matt Hardy because Jeff is better, and he is, but still, I don't know. He deserves at least one big title. He's had like the European title. He's had the European title. I think that's the only singles title he's had that I can think of. But yeah, I mean, he deserves that one big title because he's been right there with Jeff Hardy. So it's like there's not, if you think about it, there's not much that Jeff has done and he hasn't done because they've been in a tag team together. He's done TLC. He's done all the hardcore, extreme matches. You know,
I think what would help Seth a little bit too as a heel, because I feel like he's really good as a heel, but like I feel like they put it really over the top with the T-shirt, the John Cena T-shirt, the "You Can't See Me, Never Shuts Up" T-shirt. He should do that with every opponent. I would fall in love with that because I kind of actually really want that shirt, and I'm gonna wear my John Cena shirt and then that shirt back to back, back to back days. I really like that shirt. That shirt cracks me up. Uh, but but yeah, I actually, I think that would help too if they did something like that. Plus, they have the money to throw around to do it anyway. Next week, kind of get this Tay and Terrell dollhouse type of thing. She wants Marty and Jade basically to take Gail Kim out in the cage 2-on-1 next week. And for some weird reason, next week is what is it called? Not No Surrender, but Turning Point. Like it's another Impact theme thing, which we had like a week ago, and I was like, but why is it so soon? Like why is it so soon? Like we just had one. Like what are you taking notes from WWE? Why is it so soon? Like I feel like we just had like a Impact theme, whatever we're calling them now. I was just like, why is it so soon? But then we get Chris Morwinski. I can't. Can I change it back to Masters or something? Because I can't pronounce that. He's basically getting ready, and he says it's time for him to rewrite his legacy as the king of the mountain. If you don't know, Chris Morinsky calls himself the Adonis or Odonis. They pronounce it Odonis, but it's spelled Adonis, so it's like I don't know. But he kind of his moniker is the Adonis, and if you know about Jesse Goddard's Big Jesse G, Mr. Spectacular, he calls himself the modern day Adonis. So I think this should be a thing, right? There's a feud coming, please, TNA. I need it. I need it in my life. I need it. I need it in my life. Plus, they're similar wrestlers. I think it could go well. You got any thoughts on Chris Odonis, Morinsky, or Terrence Terrell and the Dollhouse and lollipops and whatnot?
the dollhouse thing, I was kind of upset. I can hear myself. That's weird. I was a little bit upset because I blinked and it was done. It seemed really, really short this week for them. But it was cool seeing Chris Masters back again. What?
It's Mordetsky.
No, it's Masters. It's Chris Masters. I'm going to call him Chris Masters. Because, he was one of those guys who, again, was in WWE and was, he was supposed to be that next big thing that never happened because they booked him horribly. And I wonder if he does the match. I think he actually did do the Master Lock in the match. But I just remember the
Look, he did it in the Kingdom. Yeah, he did do it because it was funny. He did it on Bobby Lashley, and I was like, Bobby Lashley was the one person to break it, or the first person to break it. I thought that was funny.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, because I remember the Master Lock challenge. I remember that. Oh my, that's awesome. But yeah, it was just cool to see a bunch of these guys that were supposed to be really big in WWE, and then WWE didn't. You mad, bro?
Sorry, the Steelers popped up on my
Oh,
on my TV screen. So I had to spit some words.
How about them Steelers? Um, no, but I'm just excited to see these guys that never got the chance that they should have gotten in WWE because WWE doesn't book people well, or starts out booking them well and then goes, nah.
All right. Yeah, I'm just happen to be watching ESPN because I'm trying to stay away from Raw for right now, and even though it's over. Well, it probably isn't. No one Raw. It's probably still going. But I saw the Ravens have like a 53.3% chance of winning the division, which is more than everybody else. And I was like, well, that's surprising because we never get any credit. But anyway, Raven fans problems. Next we got the Wolves versus Trevor Lee and Brian Myers. I thought this was a really cool, a really cool match. It was good to see the Wolves, obviously, but Trevor Lee reminded me of Mark Briscoe a little bit. Just his whole demeanor and look about him reminded me of Mark Briscoe. And Brian Myers, if you don't know, is Kurt Hawkins, formerly known as Brian Myers because it's his actual name, but in WWE he was known as Kurt Hawkins. So if you don't know him, he was an edgehead back in the day. They tried to break him up from Zack Ryder, and Zack Ryder kind of got the better end of that, but kind of didn't because still nothing happened with him. So nothing happened with either one of them really, except Brian Myers is probably obviously doing really good on the Indies. It looks like, but I think he looked really good in this match. I was excited to watch him because I hadn't seen him in such a long time. The Wolves using their isolation technique, and then we get the suicide dives by those Wolves. Myers pushes down Davey, and that gives he and Lee control. Nice little sliding trip down by Myers. I like that little move he did there. And then we get the double Hurricane Rana by Eddie Edwards that gets Davey Richards back in. Missile drop kick for two by Davey. Davey tries a little handspring back elbow, shades of Tajiri there, but he's hit with a facebuster hesitation German for two. That was one of those moves where I was like, that's kind of indie-ish right there. I like this. They should do more of that. Because like just the way it flowed and the way the moves like just strung together, like it felt very indie-ish. I was like, am I watching Ring of Honor right now? But that was only for two. But the Wolves end up hitting the powerbomb backstabber combo that ends up putting away Trevor Lee and Brian Myers. So I thought this was a good match. It had some interesting points in it. Good to see Brian Myers back in the ring again. I'm happy about that. You got any thoughts on the tag team match of the night? Obviously, because it was the only tag team match.
I do, in fact. I was really excited for this match. I obviously I was excited to see Brian Myers again. Since I was a fan of him back, when he first came into WWE as an edgehead. A lot of people don't remember the edgeheads. It's kind of cool, seeing him again because he was really good. WWE just didn't really use him well. I didn't think, and I think Zack Ryder's good too. They just don't use him well. I was also excited for Trevor Lee. I've seen a lot of his stuff in the Indies, so I was excited to see more of him, kind of more on a bigger stage to see what, to show people what he can do. Unfortunately, I still felt like this match was really TNA heavy. I felt like we didn't really get to see all of, what Brian Myers and Trevor Lee can do. Because, I mean, even if you just go online and watch either one of their matches, in PWG or any of the other indie promotions that they wrestle for, they're awesome, especially Trevor Lee. He doesn't look like much, but he is really talented. So I was just excited to see them. Hopefully we'll see them more in a tag team. Maybe we'll see a little bit of a feud with the Wolves. That would be pretty cool. Yeah.
I agree. I'm gonna again because as much as you don't like hearing your own voice again, I don't either. It's weird. So next we get Lashley backstage, and the cameraman asked him Or maybe if somebody like just happened to be beside the cameraman and we just think it's the cameraman because we can't see him. I think that might be it. You know, they're trying to trick us. He asked him about the King of the Mountain match. You know, does he think he's gonna win? Does he have a chance? He says, "Of course, I think I can go. I can go into any match and beat anyone." You know, but he says what's most important to him is defending TNA, which I thought was pretty cool because a lot of the backstage stuff wasn't about like defending. It was just about being the champion. It wasn't about like defending the brand, which is kind of the main thing, I guess you could say, in this type of thing, bringing it home to GFW or bringing it home to TNA Wrestling. You know, one of the two. You know, you want to do one of the two, and I feel like they didn't touch on that enough. So, you got any thoughts on Lashley being backstage as I go grab my charger before my computer goes dead? Be sure to unmute yourself because I told you I muted you and you got mad at me, and now you forgot. And
Every time, every time, every single time. Um, I was happy to see somebody support their company that they worked for, their workplace, their employer. But how did that work out for you, Ashley? How'd that work out? Did you win? Did you did you win? No, no, you didn't win. I'm sorry. You know, it's unfortunate that you didn't win, but I'm proud of you for being supportive of your company, even though you didn't win. But you were supportive, but you didn't win, and winning is what matters. Anyway,
Alrighty, then winning is all that counts, you know. So to those little kids who get trophies for trying, you don't deserve your trophy, according to Casey. According to Casey, quotes by Casey, Case E, you know, with like 8 E's on the back of it. So
unless you're the Indianapolis Colts and you win against and you lose against the Eagles, that was a fluke. That didn't happen. It's preseason, doesn't count. It's cool.
I think it's just making excuses at this point. But next we get X Division action. Um, with Tigre Uno and Sanjay Dutt, and I was like, "Ooh, Sanjay Dutt, word!" You know, I really like Sanjay Dutt. Um, I I gotta give a shout out to the Pope for correcting Josh Matthews. You know, on the Sanjay Dutt comment. You know, he said, you know, Sanjay's been here once or twice, and like he didn't even have like like when you're being sarcastic, people can tell for the most part when you're being sarcastic. He didn't have like a sarcastic tone. You know, it was like, he's been here once or twice, and I'm gonna tell you, it was just kind of like he was just talking in random conversation. So I felt like more so Josh Matthews had no idea what he was talking about. But this match had a nice fast start. Tigre Uno with the nice hog tie drop kick. When he did the hog tie, I was like, "What is going on right now? What is this pretzel you're making?" I'm like, "What are you doing to this man?" With the hog tie drop kick by Tigre Uno, and Sanjay comes in, hits the Hurricane Rana that takes Uno out of the ring. Nice little follow up Hurricane Rana off the apron by Sanjay Dutt. Sanjay goes up top for the top rope Hurricane Rana, but Tigre rolls through and pins him for the win. So Tigre Uno ends up winning this match versus Sanjay Dutt in Sanjay's TNA return, I guess you could say. Um, Still like Tigre Uno as a wrestler, like technical wise and transitional stuff. Like still love Tigre Uno. Couldn't really see much from this match though. It felt like they didn't give this match enough time for me personally. Same thing with the King of the Mountain match. I feel like if you're gonna have a big match like that, you got to at least give it 20 minutes. With this one, I felt like they could have gave it a little more time too. Um, but you have any thoughts on Tigre Uno versus the Guru, Sanjay Dutt? He didn't even pass out the plate tonight. I was kind of upset. He didn't have the plate with him. He should have been taking the money, taking the money, putting it in a secret stash for TNA because they need it.
I was excited for this match. I was excited to see Sanjay Dutt again. I thought it was funny that he's finally kind of back in TNA, sort of, because for a while there, I remember watching interviews, and he was trying so hard to get TNA to re-sign him again because he wanted to go back to TNA, and they never did. Which I I don't understand why, because he was always really good. Um, but this was a really good match. I felt like these two work well together in the ring. You know, they put on really good matches. They did good moves. I felt like it should have gone longer. I felt like they needed more time in this match, especially it felt like they were just starting to like really warm up and speed up, and then the match ended, and I was like, oh, okay. Um, the only thing I kind of didn't like was um, the hog tie dropkick, just because my logical side kicked in, and I was like, no, no, what? It was so ridiculous that it was cool, like the idea of it, but it was like that would not work in any way
Yeah,
at all.
it took him too long to hit it.
Yeah,
Like that's what it was. Like if he would have struggled to get out of it and like kind of not necessarily like I don't think you're just gonna sit there with your hands holding your ankles or whatever he was doing. Like logically, I felt the same way. Like I felt like it took Tigre Uno too long to actually make contact because I'm like, I feel like you could just get up. you know.
like I know there's ways that you can use people's body weight against them to kind of immobilize them, but that's not one of the ways that you can do it. You can't. No.
Alrighty, so next we got Jeff Jarrett backstage at EC3, and he EC3 is in belief of the conspiracy. That Jeff Jarrett might be behind all of these shenanigans. Um, and I'm not talking about Sanjay Dutt maybe just maybe being DJZ in bald form. And I'm not talking about those shenanigans.
Jay-Z. No.
but he says, you can't pull this stuff off on me, bro. I got this. I know what's going on. Jeff Jarrett says, well, since you know all these things, you might want to, keep a close eye. I thought it was going to add him in. I thought EC3 was going to end up being the replacement, like because we didn't know who the replacement was at this time, and I was like, is EC3 going to end up being the replacement? But no, it ended up. He just said the winner challenges you next week, which I think is cool because it's slightly, if GFW does win, which obviously it did, it you know keeps the storyline going, but keeps it going slightly. Like so, it's not like necessarily pounding it down our throat, but it's like it keeps it in the back of your mind a little bit, which I think is pretty pretty cool way of doing it. And plus, it gives this match some importance. Like if they just happen, like to a certain degree, you have the importance of the King of the Mountain television legendary, whatever, all the other 8 million titles it's been before. You have, all the importance of that, but to a certain degree, like having a chance at TNA's world title, and especially for a GFW guy, where you're saying, "Oh, I can take this title and take it with me," take it with me to my GFW tapings and stuff like that. I think it's just kind of a cool, type of thing. But next we get a video package on Mr. Anderson. For some reason, I got lost in my notes just now. Video package on Mr. Anderson, and basically he was talking about Bram. He talked about how the microphone was a big thing for him. It's kind of symbolism of where he's come from and what he is now and all of that. I don't know how you see all that from that one microphone, but it talks to him. He talks to it and it talks to him back. So it's one of those. Probably one of those that echoes too. It's probably all sorts of microphones in one. Um, but yeah, I liked this video package built on the Bram Mr. Anderson feud, and the microphone has been kind of a thing that's kind of been in the center of all of this to a certain degree. So they're gonna hang the microphone up, and it's gonna be a microphone on a pole or microphone in the air randomly match. And someone's gonna win, and I don't know what they're gonna do. You just get possession of the microphone, just put it in your pocket every time you go somewhere. Yeah, I want my microphone on a string match in the top of the air. I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with this. I don't. I was thinking about this, and I'm like, I wonder does Casey think this is stupid? Because like I'm like, what are they gonna do when like I feel like if it was one of those matches where you get the microphone down and you can use it, then it'd be a little bit different. But I feel like if you get the microphone down, you win. And I'm like, well, what's that gonna do? Unless Bram like plays some kind of weird mind game with it, and they can, and the continuity is well as well, and it does a good job of continuity where Mr. Anderson can't announce himself anymore because he only has one microphone and Bram has it. If they do it that way, then it make a little bit of sense. You got any thoughts on hanging the microphone up and Mr. Anderson not being able to talk about himself anymore, or Jeff Jarrett, EC3, their stuff?
Um, I don't know. I feel like it would be kind of cool if a GFW wrestler, I'm not going to say who it is, who won the title, just in case you didn't see, and you're watching it right now. I don't want to ruin it for you before we get to that part, even though you've already probably watched it. Whatever. I think it would be cool if, one of them won the TNA world title and, was able to bring it from show to show. Because it would kind of remind me of like the IWGP world heavyweight title, because they have that both in New Japan, and then they'll bring it to like Ring of Honor tapings and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. And I wouldn't have as much of an issue with this match with Anderson and Bram if it wasn't the open mic challenge. Just the stupidest name ever. It makes me. I'm waiting for them to like do karaoke or something like that.
Open mic night is they just get up there and they start singing. Whoever sings the best wins.
I mean, and unless there's real sentimental value with that mic with Anderson, I feel like he could afford a new mic. I'm pretty sure he could go buy himself a new mic. I'm just saying.
I don't think so. He's carried this one all around the world, everywhere, all at once. When he was in WWE, same exact microphone, same spit from the first time he used it, same spit, right, Ryan? Same. It's the same spit. Ryan agrees. Same everything, same breath, all of that. It's all just caked on there, and Bram wants it because Bram's sadistic. Bram's sadistic, darn it. But next we get Robbie E versus PJ Black, Justin Gabriel, versus Chris Mordetsky, Chris Masters, versus EY versus Lashley, not Bobby, not the Bobby persuasion, just Lashley. This was the King of the Mountain match for the reasons basically. If you win, Ryan's here by the way. If you win, you get the King of the Mountain title. And
title?
Yeah, the television legends, Ryan's old title, old belt that he used to wear around. Get all of that. All of that is thrown into one title. And it doesn't have a TNA logo on it, so don't worry. don't worry. There's no big TNA logo on it. So it can be this interpromotional title that we know of. But yeah, winner, and obviously the winner gets the chance to face EC3, the TNA World Heavyweight Champion. So we get a super kick and spear that kind of started off this match, and Lashley was eligible. I felt like there was too much TNA on TNA and GFW on GFW. Like it didn't make any logical sense. Like why aren't you attacking the other people? Because I love how Pope kind of pointed that out. Like what is wrong with what is wrong with these people? Yeah, Robbie E was in this match. I forgot I mentioned that, but I was like that was kind of the random moment for me. I'm like, why is Robbie E the one person you could have thought of to put in this match, and Robbie E was it? I love Robbie E. Don't get me wrong. Bro down for life and all that, but like what? But I felt like it should have been Eli Drake though, because I felt like that would have made more sense. They kind of could have swung it around in like a Eli Drake attack Drew Galloway type of thing, and it would have made sense more than Robbie Random E. But Lashley it was the first one to be eligible. Roll through, kind of roll up PJ Black on Mordetsky, gets him eligible. Lashley kind of taking everybody out. We get the boom drop by Robbie E, makes him eligible. We get Mordesky and EY kind of working together a little bit, which is kind of weird too. But he rolls up EY to be eligible. EY is always like the goat in these things. Like he always tries to work with someone and gets screwed over. Robbie E with a nice diving crossbody off the top of the penalty box. We get a pile driver on the steel steps by EY onto Robbie E for EY's eligibility. EY, I feel like he'll do a pile driver onto anything. Like if your girlfriend's laying on the couch, EY probably just jump on top of her. Pile driver right there. Right on top of your girlfriend. If she gets hurt, it's fine. It's completely fine with me. EY just doesn't care. Mordesky and PJ Black, kind of trying to fight to win this match, but Lashley takes out both of them. He turns the ladder over and then spears them both. EY turns the ladder over on Lashley. PJ Black springboards onto the ladder, kind of Kofi Kingston style. Lashley jumps off of the top turnbuckle with a spear EY, which I thought was pretty cool. We don't see Lashley do a lot of diving moves. We know he's athletic, but he doesn't do a ton of diving moves. PJ Black hits a 450 splash, somewhat off the off like the middle portion of the ladder. I don't know if he was scared or what. But he came down a little bit and then did it, which is fine. I wouldn't do it. So and then he ends up hanging up the title for the win, just to take it back down. Because he got to take it home. He got to take it with him, take it to the GFW tapings. Take it to WWE. Be like, ha ha, I won a major title. Well, I won it, bruh. Go to Vince McMahon and be like, but this was a good match. I felt like it still didn't have enough time for me. For a King of the Mountain match, I feel like you need more time. Maybe another pile driver or two. I feel like EY just needs to take one of the fans and just pile drive them. Something. Help me out a little bit. but yeah, PJ Black is now your King of the Mountain championship holder. So that's kind of cool, and he'll face EC3, which I think could be pretty cool. I wonder if they face each other in NXT, because I know Justin Gabriel had just went back down to NXT, kind of when EC3 was either there or leaving. So I wonder if they face each other. I can't remember. But Casey, do you have any thoughts on the King of the Mountain match where PJ Black is your King of the Mountain champion?
I got a couple. 1, 2, 3, maybe 4. Possibly 5. I don't know. One thing I hated is that you kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, that the first 2 pins were GFW on GFW and TNA on TNA. I was like, wait, what? Why? Why would you do that? Also, I felt like it should have been a 6-man match, 6 guys, instead of basically what it was, 3-on-2. TNA overpowering GFW, because GFW only got 2 guys and TNA got 3. I didn't think that was fair. Also, I agree that Eli Drake would have been a much better replacement than Robbie E. I like Robbie E, but it didn't really make sense that he was in this match at all. But I am super excited that my boy PJ Black won. He never got the chance that he should have in WWE. But also, it's going to be kind of cool. You kind of touched on it a little bit. I know they weren't on the same season of NXT, because that was back when NXT was actually kind of like its own series, where it was almost like Tough Enough. I know they weren't on the same season, but it is going to kind of be like an NXT kind of throwback with PJ Black and EC3, so that's going to be kind of cool. I don't remember if they ever had a match together in WWE, so that'll be cool. I feel like they can both put on a really good match together. As long as, and I know it's going to happen anyway, but I would like to not, have Tyrus not get involved, because I feel like they could have a really good match without his interference. And still, if they're going to have, EC3 win, which I feel like they're going to, I feel like they could still have a really good match without any interference. So I'm just excited to see that match,
Indeed. So that's your team review. As I mute Casey one more time. That's your TNA review for 8, 12, 15. GFW versus TNA was kind of the main little thing here. Kind of starting that off. I think it'll be cool. I kind of want to see what GFW's involvement will be next week because I feel like there's got to be some sort of involvement besides PJ Black versus EC3, or maybe in that match in some sort of way to kind of keep this going. Because it's not going to make sense. Hey, Jeff J, you want to come back now? Just next week. We love you. Just come back in and you can book some matches and it'll be a fun time. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think. I don't think logically that's going to make any sense. So well, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to continue, and I'm staying away from spoilers and Justin, all that. Staying away from them because they'll tell me in a minute. And Wikipedia, just terrible, terrible, terrible stuff. You got any final thoughts besides always being an instant classic and following the Twitters and subscribing? Anything else? Hey, grandma, nothing.
If I wasn't muted, I would have been able to say something really quick, but I didn't because I had to unmute myself because I was muted. I wonder how that happened.
Uh, it's not that hard, Casey. All you gotta do is press one button. Press one button.
And I moved the mouse all the way up there, and then I gotta click on it.
Just keep the mouse up there. Where are you going?
Anyway, no, I'm just excited. I really hope we get a lot more, GFW and TNA together. Because it'll give both of them kind of, especially the GFW guys, more exposure that they either haven't gotten with newer guys or that they haven't gotten in a while. The guys that used to be either in TNA or in WWE.
Alrighty, so that's it. That's your TNA review. I hope you enjoyed. If you haven't already, press that subscribe button. It's that subscribe button. Press that subscribe button. Shut up, Casey. It's not that hard. Just press it and smile at me and be good. Be good times for us. I will see you guys on the next one, which will be really soon. NXT and Ring of Honor, all in one big ball, turn sideways. All that. So I'll see you guys later.
Excited. I was ready to stick it sideways and. Sorry, there's kids watching. We can't. Sorry.
All right, guys. I will see you guys later. Peace.